Rod Brind'Amour is someone, you've been a part of each other's lives, some of it good and some of it bad. How would you describe your relationship with Rod?
When you go back to the Hartford Whalers, we were not very good. And then there were 2 or 3 inflection points. And one of them is kind of Gary Roberts and Marty Jelena coming in, Ron Francis coming in. But the next big leap was when Rod Brind'Amour came in. Talk about a change in culture. There was a block of time that it was a really, really good team. And as a player, Roddy was a huge, huge part of that.
Obviously, you know, my career ended with him, so that wasn't we didn't end on the best of terms at that.
The good and the bad
that
side.
year was rough, you know.
Tell me a bit more about that year.
Well, it was my last year playing, and I wanted to play another year, and I'm still this old guy that's, you know, hanging on. So I get kind of pushed right out of the whole 9 yards. I mean, right out, like not kind of hiding it. It was obvious. You're getting 4 minutes a night.
But I'm also then at the tail end of his career, which is difficult for players at times. And that's probably the part that wasn't good for him. But you're still the head coach, and regardless of your feelings of people, you still got to make those decisions. And I would think now Roddy would have a way different perspective on it than he would have at the time.
So at the time, though, as you said, that the end of your playing career, I mean, he sat you a game, he took away the captaincy.
Yeah, basically, you couldn't do much more to, to a guy that, to be honest with you, I mean, I think I did it right. Most, you know, I don't know that he would do that again, you know, because I think, I learned a lot from that. I learned that's not how you treat your guys that do it right.
You know, those are the nights you don't sleep as a coach the night before because you care for the people. But hard things have to be dealt with, and it falls on your shoulders. And not always will you find people that will have the perspective that Roddy will have. But you know what's interesting about that, though, is that's how coaches learn, right, through experience. I never played, so I didn't get that learning block of what it's like to be a player in this league.
We had Justin Williams here at the end. Like I said, I'm not doing that to him. You know, like there's a way to do it. And I think you do learn, but again, I don't have any hard feelings toward him on it. He made a decision on what he felt was best for the team.
Sure.
He didn't do it to just get me out. I mean, that was what we were trying to do.
It was nothing personal against you. It was all about the team.
No, he was trying to, and that's what coaching is. You gotta live with those decisions, good or bad or right or wrong, however it works out.
To give it an idea of how much different it was for the two of us, I hired him.
Exactly.
Right, so there was no hard feelings for me.
None whatsoever,
I thought
obviously.
this guy could be perfect here. If Roddy was interested in coaching, if he could catch the bug, that he would be great at it just because he would take the same approach to his career, his playing days. He'd be all in all the time, and he is. I'm sure when I asked him, you're like, are you kidding me?
So fast forward, you know, I'm out of it for a year, and then he calls me and says, hey, you know, why don't you come back in? And he was gracious enough to do it in a way that I could, on my terms. Like I wasn't every day. I was like, you come when you want.
So he's a really honest person. I think when he speaks, players feel that honesty because he's been there. He's not lying to them. He's telling them he's not working them. He's just telling the truth. But he has a gift to that. And then I thought, okay, that's an important part of doing it, being able to communicate. And then it was just the right fit. He meant so much for this team. I'm looking for a guy. I'm looking for an ex-player, somebody that can view the game. He had power play, penalty kill, 5-on-5. So he had the entire spectrum of understanding. And it seemed like a good fit. I knew that it was a little bit grumpy between the two of us, but you move on. So maybe I move on maybe my skin's just way thicker than everybody else's. I just kind of, you know.
You move on.
You get fired every week for 12 years, you grow some skin.
And so I'm just sitting I'm watching how he does things from afar. Yeah. And I was actually amazed at how much went into it. That's why I thought, I was just like, how hard is it to coach, right? Like, I'm like, just put your players out there,
bench,
make sure you get the best guys out,
yeah,
and just let them do their thing. And that's not what it is, you know. And I saw this going, wow, okay, the prep work, all the, you know, really all the time spent for little things that you don't even think of that are big deals, that are big deals. And then that's where you're going, wow, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I really was like, I don't know, that's a lot.
A lot more than it takes to be a player or a different way. I mean, it's hard to be an NHL player.
Yeah, a lot more time.
Yeah.
You know, a lot more worry.
Come on, boys, hey, come on, a little more energy here. Stay on the gas, boys!
You guys are giving me tons of memories, but you're creating some for your own. Like, how cool is that?
I heard that in Game 82 of the regular season this year, Carolina's in Florida playing the Panthers, and that you said Rod Brind'Amour is the best coach in the NHL.
Correct.
That's true. You said that.
I believe. So the context for that, at driving consistency out of your team. If you look back at the way this team has played over the years since he's been here, and he's built it.
Well, if he did say that, I mean, he's just being nice. And I think he's looking at the fact that all the people we lost, and he's saying they're still doing all right. I mean, he's just, you know, throwing that out there. You know, and it's funny about that last game because everyone, like, we had to beat them to not play them.
Yeah.
And so take a look how we played that game. Like, that team is stacked, and they were not the team you want to play in the first round or second round or even the third round. But, you know, I'd take it in the third round than in the first. So we played one of our best games of the year in that game because we really didn't want to have to play them in the first round.
They got a little better at it each year. I don't think there's a more consistent team in terms of style of game. And what are we responsible? We're not really responsible for the talent. We're certainly responsible for getting the most out of the talent. But we will design a game and teach our team that game and hold them accountable to that game. And I think he's the best at it.